When I was dealing with pelvic floor dysfunction for 5 years, one of the most difficult, frustrating situations was urinary frequency and hesitancy. Having to pee a lot more often and also taking a long time to start the flow of urine, to get everything out. I mean, going to the bathroom and waiting like 5 minutes just to get something out. I get what it feels like. I know how frustrating this can be. You can make changes though. Now, whether you've heard of CPPS, pelvic floor dysfunction, or whatever situation you're dealing with, recognizing that in many cases, this is coming from tension in the external urethral sphincter and tension in the pelvic floor muscles. So this tension, this tightness, is making it to where it's hard to hold all of the urine in, and it's also hard to relax and let it out. So you could potentially have urinary leakage, and then you could also have the challenge of even opening up and letting the urine come out and releasing it fully emptying the bladder. But what's the cause of that though? What's causing the tension? Usually an upregulated nervous system. So when your nervous system is upregulated and you have this fight or flight or freeze nervous system activated, the sympathetic nervous system, this will create a guarding, a holding, a tightness, because it's not a time for being relaxed. Now, you might not actually be in that situation where you're about to go into battle or there's a wild animal that's going to attack you, right? But where is it coming from? Typically thoughts and emotions. We're thinking thoughts and we're continuing to repeat a programmed set of habits that are actually keeping us at the subconscious level tight. So we have to take a look at what are we thinking about, how are we feeling about that, and then what are our habitual actions, and make some changes there. But what we're going to talk about in this video is what you can do right now to help release, relax, and urinate more effectively. Number one is calming the nervous system with deep stretches and mind-body practices. We include these in the Overcome Pelvic Pain program, by the way, a lot of them to help guide you on this. This is really helpful. It's not something that you would do right before you need to urinate, but as a daily practice, do a routine to stretch and open up and relax your bladder and your pelvic floor. And we'll include a link to a video that I would recommend you doing there. Also, mind-body practices such as meditations, breath work, qigong, tai chi, potentially yoga, or subconscious reprogramming audios, self-hypnosis, things like this are also very useful, where you're calming the nervous system, you're relaxing, you're getting out of your head so much, you're getting more into your body, into the breath, and that actually is calming the vagus nerve and relaxing your nervous system. Number two is to practice the pelvic drop regularly. So throughout your day, if you're standing and you notice some tightness in your bladder and your pelvic floor, you can do a pelvic drop where you're breathing deeply, letting go of the muscles, letting them drop down. So a reverse Kegel. You're not pulling up, you're actually just letting it go, dropping it down. So that's a pelvic drop that we can do sometimes throughout the day, and that's going to have a healthier baseline. So number three, while you're preparing to urinate, you're right there, you're about to pee, taking a breath, doing a pelvic drop, and visualize your urethra opening up, the flow coming out, the comfort, the opening, the relaxation, presence, and that can help. So you're actually letting go of the tension and you're making it easier with conscious intent that the flow can begin. Number four is to relax your jaw. The jaw is intimately connected with the pelvic floor, and if it's very tight, it can be harder for your flow to begin. So let go. Let your jaw become slack, very light. You can also use the vocalization ah, so ah. Try that and see how that feels with your jaw being released and this vocalization. See how that feels in your pelvic floor. And 5, to fully empty You want to get everything out. Final drops. Take a deep breath in. Do another pelvic drop. So you might need to do that, right? Just like we did before we started. So take another 1 or 2 breaths with a pelvic drop, and that'll help let go of the tightness again and let anything else come through. And 6, when you're done, do 1 or 2 Kegels, the pelvic floor contractions, so squeezing and lifting, letting go, squeezing and lifting, letting go fully. Full relaxation, right? Fully relax after the Kegel though. And what this can do is help to seal that urethral opening, sealing in the urine, also signaling to your brain that you're done. Like, this session's done with, now you can move about your day. Another tip I would point out is if you're having a lot of pain, a lot of trouble right now, especially if you're a man typically urinating standing up, you could try seated. Just sit down on the toilet, allow the muscles to relax and release. It can be easier for that to happen. I remember when I was dealing with really bad pain and dysfunction, it was almost impossible for me to pee standing up. It hurt really bad and the tension was very strong. So sitting down allowed it to relax, open up, and come out more easily. And something you can do and then start to work back in, standing up some days, seated some days, and kind of work yourself back up to feeling comfortable standing and doing these practices. So those are some tips to help you to reduce, release urinary frequency and hesitancy. And if you want to learn more about calming the nervous system, strengthening your pelvic floor, letting all this go, we have the Overcome Pelvic Pain program. Overcome Pelvic Pain for Men is a 12-week fully guided program that helps address these issues. You can get started with a free 7-day kickstart to recovery right now to get going, and I look forward to seeing you in there.